on a mic, yo, rip up the bass.
Forced.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the 2022 Oscatch World Cup. Round of 32, I'm JB Hyperion, joined for this next block of matches by Elux. How are you doing today, good sir?
Doing great. Bit nervous, my first CWC appearance while actually playing instead of commentating today, but can't wait. Looking forward to the matches that we have up ahead.
Yeah, we got a cracker to start things off. Belgium versus Poland, two of the closest teams in the seeding that we saw. And I think if any match was a tiebreaker potential, this is certainly a contender.
I would have to agree, JBH. Belgium placed 14th in qualifiers, with Poland not far behind, placing 19th. There are a couple maps that Poland outscored Belgium on, but for the most part, Belgium was looking like the clear favorites so far in this matchup.
Yeah, Poland's new players, Trigon and Moors, performed really, really well, better than we could have ever anticipated new players to perform. But their more veteran players of Leku and Boba didn't quite kind of perform up to the standard we maybe were expecting, which put them in the bottom half of the draw. If they can up their game, then they could be a really, really close test for Belgium.
And looking at how Belgium did in the qualifiers, they had the edge around hidden, and it kind of went both ways with double time, so I would expect to see Belgium trying to go get a few points in hidden right off the bat.
Yeah, without Fob, Poland's hidden ability has been a little bit reduced compared to previous years. Still a reasonably strong team in hidden, but Hard Rock I think is a bit more their speed. Looks like double time is being completely eradicated. Poland obviously deciding they wanted to ban first and getting rid of Feel Special, DT2. For their part, Belgium taking out DT3, Happy Time. So yeah, a lot of speed has been taken away. So pretty much just the one map left in that pool, Wizard's Tower, a kind of very speed heavy but small movement double time pick.
And with both teams banning double time, it makes you think if DT1 is going to be a toss-up.
Yeah, you were saying that Belgium were the stronger hidden team, but Poland not really feeling the need to ban it, so obviously they're not kind of feeling that Belgium are too far ahead on hidden, that it's potentially a coin flip, and they can maybe sneak a point in here on hidden. As I said, they are reasonably strong still in that mod. I'm just going to wait and see what Belgium's first pick is going to be. No mod 2, so Peer Gint is going to be first up. So the kind of lower BPM but quite technical, no mod specific. Lots of wiggles, some high slider velocity and strong hyper dashes. Very interesting map.
Interesting indeed. It's my favorite custom map in the pool, actually. I find it to be unique without trying hard to be unique, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so when Niam, one of our custom mappers, created this, it was probably a little bit harder than we would have liked for the round of 32 pool to begin with, but we managed, with obviously kind of his kind of hard work, to get it down to a state where it was fitting for the difficulty without kind of erasing the identity of the map, because we all loved the map. We just felt like, hey, this is a bit too hard, so can you maybe turn it down from 11 to maybe like 9 or 10? And he's done a really good job with it. So I hope that this, and obviously a lot of the custom maps that we have for this tournament, get pushed afterwards, after the tournament, so more people can enjoy them. But we're getting right underway. Both teams not hanging about. Good to see. Quinton, Jind, and Jess playing for Team Belgium in this first one. Bobber, Trigon, and Leku on the side of Team Poland. Good luck, have fun to both teams. Love to see lots of support in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for.
First 100 combo down, and all 6 players holding a double S so far. Nothing much to be said, all tied up.
Yeah, some of the interesting slider shapes that this map gives makes double S quite a bit more impressive than on some of the more kind of flowy standard mapping styles.
And everyone ended up hitting that hyper tick. Trigon was the first one to drop some ACK, but Zend is going to be the first one to find a miss, followed by Juz.
Yeah, both dropping right at the end of the Ki section there. Coming into that slow section, kind of, you don't have to focus too much on the map, so it plays on your mind that you've kind of missed not an easy section, but yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a mental drain for Belgium, so hopefully they can come back from that. But Poland looking really strong right still. Bobber and Leku both still holding that double S. I mentioned before the stream that they didn't really perform as well as they probably would have liked in qualifiers, and they had a point to prove. So far, looking like they're doing that with about a third of the map still to go, as Jessa misses once again.
Couple more misses being found on the side of Belgium, as Zend and Jessa seem to be struggling a little bit, as Leku is the first one to drop on the side of Poland, but Belgium is going to need a lot more than that.
Yeah, no triple FC to begin for Poland, but otherwise this has gone pretty much as perfectly as they would have wanted. Belgium first picking this no mod 2, obviously feeling fairly confident. Quinton with the double S doing really good work for Team Belgium, but the rest of their team unfortunately not quite able to keep up. So Quinton does take the honours with the double S, but Boba and Trigon also FCing on the side of Poland. So they're going to be winning this one by a little over 200,000 points. So we have an immediate break point with Belgium losing their first pick on Peer 2.
And Poland wasting no time at all, wanting to keep this momentum going straight into Hard Rock 1.
Yeah, I kind of thought that Hard Rock was going to be where they went to straight away. Very strong Hard Rock team. Been playing the mod for a very long time. We saw there Jian saying sorry, nerves, but that's very typical of like your first match, especially in a tournament as large as the World Cup, when your very first match after qualifiers is against a team of Poland's caliber. Even if you do have the seeding advantage, doesn't mean anything.
We see some substitutions coming in. Autoella's Fanboy and Cape Noob coming in for Belgium, and Skylia coming in for Poland with Cosmit.
Yeah, Cosmit's coming as well, yeah. So 2 swaps on each side, Quinton and Leku remaining for their respective teams.
Will Belgium be able to answer back with a breakpoint of their own, or will Poland be able to make this a 2-0 match?
Yeah, that is a good question. You kind of feel with how evenly matched these two teams are that if one team gets an early run and wins several points in a row, it might just give them so much confidence to run away with the match entirely. But if it balances back and forth where one team breaks and then the other team breaks back, then nerves could play a massive factor for both sets of players.
And it would appear that Belgium has a slight score advantage due to that first spinner. Cake Noob being the first one to find some accuracy drop, but all 6 players still FCing as we get into that first 200 combo mark.
That accuracy drop alone has ever so slightly swung the lead into Poland's favour though. It's a very, very minimal amount, but with a kind of fairly standard, not too like edge dash heavy or kind of memory jump heavy Hard Rock map in Light Up My Love, this Hard Rock 1. If both teams kind of progress to the end here with this, then it could be a very tiny victory, and that would be really bad news for the mental state of Belgium.
Through as Cake Noob found a few more droplet misses, slowly inching that score lead to the side of Poland.
There's only a third of this map left to go. I mean, it's not a short map, but it's not particularly dense either, so combo doesn't play as much of a factor.
And
Cosmit with the drop though.
Ooh, at the end, you hate to see drops at the end when your team is triple FCing.
As long as 2 players don't miss from Belgium here, they should have this one wrapped up. Spinner at the end might allow Poland to gain some score back, but nah, it's good. 66,000 points, the difference. And Belgium, as we said, do immediately break back. Leku and Skyly are both double S-ing. Autoella's Fanboy and Quinton doing the same on Team Belgium, but unfortunately, that miss from Cosmit with about 100 to go swung the difference. So, anyone's game still, and Belgium also wasting no time at all. They're going for Hidden now. Hidden 2 coming out.
And
that's going to be a long fall.
Appear that both teams know exactly what they want to pick with each other.
Yeah, I think both of these teams, and especially Boba and Quinton, the 2 captains, are players that strategize quite heavily. They have plans within plans. They know exactly who's going to be playing what, how to counter every kind of variety of pick. And that is a way that allows them to compete with some of the best teams, despite maybe not having the same caliber of players individually, is that they play really well as a team and they know how to capitalize on opponents' mistakes.
And if there's any Final Fantasy XIV players watching the stream, you know exactly where this song is from. A Long Fall, the Twinning. Personally, my favorite song in the pool, and I know it's Trosk's as well. Quentin, Seen, and Jessa for Belgium, Bobber, Trigon, and Leku for Poland. Let's see how Poland can do on this low AR hidden without fob.
Yeah, Trigon coming in for hidden is no surprise at all. Guys are really good at lower approach rates. So a couple of wigglers, a couple of standstills. You can stand still at the beginning and still catch everything, but wiggling is more swag, so I give you more virtual points if you wiggle.
Ooh, and Trigon's gonna drop at that first hyper dash, giving Belgium slight lead as Jessa drops as well. That's gonna kind of balance out the score a little bit. Both misses were before that 200 combo mark, so plenty of map still to go.
Yeah, max combo on this is only just a bit below 700 though, so any kind of miss near the middle and it's really difficult to build that combo back up before the map actually ends. You can see Poland have now taken the lead back as Trigon hits that combo cap. Jessa is going to be just a little bit behind, but the score difference is so minimal as we come towards halfway. Jessa going to drop again though, right as they get to 200 combo. That's really unfortunate.
And Leku is going to trade that drop.
That's actually going to keep the score difference still so close when they eventually build back up. But any further misses from really any player, and it could swing it irrevocably in the other team's direction, because there isn't that much time left. Leku dropping on that large dash chain though, but Xien's missing as well.
And Leku is going to drop again as Jessa gets up to that 200 combo mark. Score swinging in favor of Belgium.
Yeah, Leku not having a great time right now. Belgium have just been perfectly placed to capitalize on, unfortunately, his mistakes. If their players can all keep holding now, they should take this one, but there's really not much time left. A miss has to come now for let Poland back into this one.
And unfortunately for Poland, that miss is not going to come as Belgium winning their pick, making it 2-1.
So we had 2 break points, and Belgium have got their own pick on the board, now leading 2-1. Double S coming out of Bobber and Quinton. Jend with the 1 miss, Jessa 2. Trigon with a couple misses right at the very beginning, but Leku, unfortunately, the difference maker. But not phased. Bobber immediately. Mixed Mod 1 is coming up next, so get to see some more Mixed Mod. Or is this no mod? A little bit of confusion here. I think they've chosen Mixed Mod 1, which would be Mapletown Memories. We're just going to get a confirmation on that. Well, hold on.
It would appear that is Mixed Mod 1 as Bobber and Quinton both are re-clarifying that they want Mixed Mod.
Mixed Mod's still a little bit confusing to all of us. First time we've seen it in the Catch World Cup this year. But yeah, it is going to be Mixed Mod 1, Mapletown Memories. So, quick introduction to Mixed Mod for anybody new. It's kind of like the free mod bracket that you may have seen in some other tournaments before, where you can choose between no mod, hidden, and hard rock. But unlike free mod, you can only have each player playing one mod. You can't have like everyone running hard rock to try and get a better score. So we'll have one no-mod player, one hidden player, and one hard rock player who can optionally take hidden for no extra score bonus if they so wish.
And barring any substitutions, it looks like it's going to be Auto Ellis Fanboy, Shin, and Quentin for Belgium, Skylia, Trigon, and Bobber for Poland.
Yeah, the players have shuffled around a little bit in the lobby. See, some of them are still kind of playing from the previous map but have moved into different slots. Hopefully they're being very kind to us and are going to be playing kind of opposing mod positions on the team, so maybe the hard rock players will both be at the top, hidden players on the sides potentially. We'll see in a second. There was some discussion about that this morning, which I think would be very helpful.
And I do believe that is going to be the case, JBH.
Oh, thank you. You guys are so helpful. So, AutoLS Fanboy and Skylia on the top, both playing hard rock. Jiend and Trigon on the left, on the lower, both playing hidden. And then Quinton and Bob are going to be playing no mod on the bottom right.
Ooh, and Quentin is going to be the first one to drop in that kind of dense wiggle section. However, it was before that 200 combo mark with plenty of maps still to go.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting pick for like the mixed mod bracket. Quinton just not quite dashing a little bit for that little tap there. It's a swing-heavy rhythm song, so you'd think that no mod would be kind of like overly easy and hard rock and hidden where all the difficulty is. But there's a lot of wiggling, small tap dashes, direction changes, and rhythm changes as well that still make no mod quite challenging and require a little bit of focus. So Quinton maybe a little bit burnt out from having to play all of the previous 3 picks. Skylia are going to be dropping there for hard rock though. Sorry, continue.
I was going to say that's actually huge as Quentin gets up to that 200 combo mark. But Auto Ellis Fanboy is going to drop as well, trading that hard rock miss.
Yeah, so whilst in the previous maps we've been looking at, obviously everyone's playing the same mod, everyone's getting the same score. Hard rock has a 1.12 times multiplier. So one hard rock miss is obviously not going to be equal to, say, one no mod or one hidden miss.
Both players recovering nicely to 200 combo. But right now, score advantage in favor of Poland by about low
75,000?
Yeah, about 75,000.
So they can see in this break that Poland have the advantage. There's not that much of the map left to go, but there is one kind of dense, tricky section coming up here with some streams and a lot more wiggling. This is going to be especially punishing for the hard rock players. But everyone holding really nicely, but Jiend is going to miss though, which drives the gap even further. AutoLS Fanboy doing the same. Bobber's going to trade a miss, but I don't think that alone is going to be enough. Poland are running away with this one.
Quentin found a miss at the end, same with Bobber, and unfortunately for Belgium, Poland is taking this. So far the score is 2-2. Possibly our first tiebreaker?
Yeah, Trigon the only FC there, definitely bringing a fight back. Didn't perform quite so well on the straight hidden pick that we saw earlier, but now definitely showing why he is a master of hidden. Quinton, like wasting no time once again, double time 1. These picks are coming so thick and fast right now. The only double time left available in the pool after both teams banned 1, Wizard's Tower.
And in the qualifiers pool, Belgium had the score advantage over Poland in DT1. However, Poland outscored Belgium in DT2. So, guess you can kind of say this is going to be the best 2 out of 3 matchup here with that.
Verti suggesting Poland mapper buff. Verti, one of our custom mappers for this year's CWC. From hailing from Poland. Thank you again very much to Verti and all of the map pooling team for making these great custom maps for CWC. Boba looks like he's going to be moving Cosmit onto the team. First time we've seen them appear. Well, at least in a little while.
Gonna be Auto Ellis, Fanboy, Quinton, and Cake Noob for Belgium, Skylia, Leku, and Cosmit for Poland. So far, 2-2. Possible tiebreaker. Tiebreaker hype, not just yet, but it's still possible. Both teams seeming to be very evenly matched.
Yeah, both teams breaking once and winning their own pick once. So 2-all, with potentially 5 maps still to play, 4 more after this one.
And
Just gonna sync everyone up.
Leku being the only one choosing that hidden modifier with double time.
Yeah, this approach rate 8.3 goes up to 9.9 with double time. A lot faster than we're used to seeing in early stages of CWC. AR8 is kind of a comfortable double time approach rate for most people who are at least a little bit familiar with the mod, but 8.3 a little bit more punishing as Leku sees an early drop just after that 200 combo mark. The density of this map does at least allow you to build combo back up fairly quickly, as long as you kind of don't string lots of misses together in a row. But Belgium currently sitting at about a 40,000 point lead at the halfway mark. Even this calm section is not particularly straightforward. Lots of stop-start motions to take into consideration. 1/3 of the map still to play as things are building back up nicely. Still 2 double S's on the side of Team Belgium, Autoless Fanboy and Quinton. Cosmit the only double S on the side of Poland, but Skylayer still holding onto that FC, as is Cake Noob from Belgium.
And Auto LS is gonna drop on the side of Belgium. Will it be enough for Poland to get back into this though?
Leku missed just after 200 combo, so it is going to bring them very closely back together. It's a spinner battle for the win!
And Poland inched it out at the end with the spinner.
That is a 1,300 point victory for Team Poland. Wow! That's a fantastic spin from Cosmit at the end there. Really, really well played.
And good job by Leku, recovering nicely after that initial miss. Seemed to not get shaken up at all by it. And Poland wanted Mixed Mod 1? Well, now they want Mixed Mod 2, as Bopper comes in with their pick, just instantly back to back to back with these picks, wasting no time at all on either side.
Yeah, so same rules apply, 1 no mod, 1 hidden, 1 hard rock, but this one is very, very different from Mixed Mod 1 that we saw. It's a converted difficulty from OS mode, so you'll see a lot different rhythms and patterns. The BPM is much, much lower. Circle size is higher at 4, so 5.2, very comfortable hard rock circle size. And approach rate is slightly lower, 8.7, which makes hidden a little bit more challenging for reading.
As of right now, does not appear to be any substitutions for either team. Unless I looked away and they quickly made substitutions.
I think Skylayer's come back in for Leku, but I think that might be the only one. Here we go then. Game number 6. Poland currently leading 3-2. Best of 9, so 2 more wins required for Poland and 3 for Team Belgium. And the players have made things just a tiny bit easier for us, putting both hidden players in the center and both no mods on the edges this time. As Autoless Fanboy going to be an early drop right before that 200 combo mark with Hard Rock. You can see there's a lot more focus on kind of stop-starting motions. With Hard Rock, that's a little bit difficult because the approach rate is so high. We see a double miss on Hidden there from Trigon and GN. GN missing once again in this kind of dense, like, slider to note section. That's going to put Poland in the lead.
Halfway through our pick, so far Quinten the only one on Belgium with a full combo, as AutoLS Fanboy just misses again, followed by Shind and AutoLS Fanboy. Trigon building back up to 200 combo. Skylia and Bobber holding strong though with a double FC on the side of Poland.
Yeah, Skylia's double S on Hard Rock is really, really big because of that mod multiplier giving more score.
And Shind seemed to be slightly moving a little bit too early on this section, and Quinten drops and there's no more full combos on the side of Belgium.
Yeah, both Quinten and GN moving just a little bit too slowly, maybe struggling a little bit to adapt to the slower approach rate, thinking they need to go faster than they do. And the BPM is of course way, way lower as well, down at 128. So it is very easy to just dash away from slider tails and things a little bit too quickly. We do see misses from Trigon and Skylia there, so a little bit of a dent in the potential score for Poland. Bobber still holding on to that FC though, and they have such a massive lead. No chance back in for Belgium here, and it's match point now for Team Poland, 4-2.
And what looked like both teams just going to be trading blows was instantly stopped as Poland started taking a commanding 4-2 lead here as we approach match point.
So all match long, we've seen them rapidly picking, knowing exactly what they want to do next. Now perhaps Quinten and Belgium have to think a little bit, because any wrong move here, any point that Poland take between now and the end of the match is game over for them. What's still available? There's plenty of no mods still available. I believe Hidden 1 is also available, and Hard Rock 2. So we've got no mod converts, we've got a long consistency based specific with Hidden, or we've got a Hard Rock convert. Those are the 4 choices available to the players.
Ooh, and Quinten and Belgium are going to choose Nomad 3 as their pick.
That's a really interesting decision from them, because this is the CS5, like quite short, a little bit streamy Nomad pick. I think that Hidden 1 and Nomad 4 are both long consistency maps, and maybe they feel that they're not quite playing at a level where they can maintain high consistency. So maybe they're just going to try and pray for a burstier, kind of shorter pick that they have a more realistic chance of FCing.
Substitutions underway as we see Jessa coming in on Belgium, Leku coming in for Poland, and Cosmet going to be that third player for Poland. So far have yet to see a tiebreaker this
Yeah,
weekend.
we've yet to come even remotely close to a tiebreaker. This right here is the closest that we've come to a tiebreaker right now, because of our 6 previous matches, only 2 opposition points have been scored. So 2 5-1s and 4 5-0s. Kind of to be expected in round of 32, because we're pitching like the first and second seeded teams against the 31st and the 32nd. But this being one of the closer ones, we're still hoping, without too much bias, of course, for a comeback, just because we want to see that tiebreaker.
At the first break point of the map, all players, seeing that they're all holding full combos, 200 combo mark so far. No one looking shaky or anything, but Auto LS is gonna find the first miss. Skylia was the first act drop.
Yeah, getting caught out by that far dash after a little micromanaging wiggle. Jessa overshooting that stream as well. This is not good news for Team Belgium.
And Poland, as we approach the halfway point, see that this is their map to lose. They are in full control of their destiny right now.
You can tell the nerves and pressure of the only remaining FC on the team getting to Quinton there, just dashing a little bit too quickly on that double kick slider section. Barring a catastrophe for Team Poland, this looks like it's going to be their match to lose. Going to be taking this one 5-2 most likely, as Quinton drops once again.
And all 3 Polish players not letting that match point nerves get to them at all, looking strong as we're closing out our match, and Poland is going to win this 5-2.
Yeah, Poland not having the greatest of qualifiers, but definitely having woken up now as we come into the knockout stages. Really, really solid triple FC for them, putting a statement on it with Cosmit and Leku, scoring that double S. Skylia, I think, with just the 1 droplet miss. Belgium, 1, 2, and 2 misses, respectively. Not a bad performance by them at all, but shows that seeding is not everything, and unfortunately for Belgium, their streak of encountering and losing to Team Poland in multiple previous editions of the World Cup continues. So Poland will be the first team to beat a team of a higher seed. They're going to stay in the winner's bracket. Belgium down to the loser's bracket. We'll obviously see them again next week. But that's GG. Well done to all the players.
Have yet to see a tiebreaker. Holding my breath. Holding my breath. I want to see one before the weekend ends.
Well, there are still plenty of matches to be played. So hopefully we'll get another chance later on. Just because we kind of prophesized that this was a potential tiebreaker match is definitely not meaning that it is the only one where that might be the case. So do kind of keep your tinfoil hats on and pray for some more tiebreaker hype in future games.
I will go sacrifice some apples and bananas to our fruit-catching gods for a tiebreaker.
So there you go. There are your winners. Team Blue, Poland, on screen. Congratulations to them. And in just a second, we will have the schedule for the rest of the round of 32 up for you. There it is. Perfect timing. So you can see Korea versus Portugal, the number 2 seed versus the number 31 seed, coming up in about 25 minutes from now. And then we've got a huge block a little bit after that, with 4 matches going on simultaneously. Italy versus the Netherlands, Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, Vietnam, also could be a very close one, and Taiwan versus debutants Turkey, all coming up at 1 PM UTC.
I'm interested to see how that Indonesia-Malaysia match is going to go, personally.
Yeah. Okay, so with 25 minutes to spare, we'll leave you with some lovely tunes, courtesy of our wonderful featured artists. Elux and I will be back in about kind of 25 minutes again, ready to take you through the next match, which, as we said, is South Korea versus Portugal. So don't go too far. Please do feel free to stretch, have some drink, have some food, go outside if it's nice weather. Got to get that fresh air, touch some grass. And we'll be back with you very, very soon. Don't forget, if you want to support the tournament, now is a perfect chance to buy yourself a banner for any one of these 32 teams that have reached the knockout stage through qualifiers to display on your profile. They look fabulous. And of course, you'll be supporting the World Cup and the game in general, helping us make these events even more awesome than they are already. So do check that out. Thank you, Puffbuck, for putting the link in the chat. Everyone go there if you have a little bit of change to spare. And closing thoughts on that is obviously well done to Poland, commiserations to Belgium, and we'll see you back very, very soon.
Of an alien source are approaching from the sky. Radio contact has been attempted but cannot be established. Instructions are to prepare for an attack by an unknown enemy.
beasts as far as the eye can see. A plague on the surface, a disgusting swarm in the skies. With a crash of thunder, a new demon appears. Unfurling its rotten wings, it lets out a petrifying scream.
Hello, hello, hello. For those of you who stuck around and those just joining us, welcome to Us Catch World Cup 2022. I'm Elux, and joined with me still is JB Hyperion. How's it going?
Hello. I'm doing good, thank you. Just had some lunch, had a little bit of a stretch, and ready for some more fruit catching.
Have South Korea versus Portugal. I feel for Portugal having to go up against the defending champions from last year, but I love an underdog story. I believe in them. I full faith that they're going to win this. I love my underdog stories.
Yeah, I love an underdog story too, but I'm also a man of statistics, and when you've got 6-time and defending world champions against Portugal, a team that qualified for the first time in, I think, 4 years this year, they've got a bit of an uphill struggle to contend with a team like South Korea.
Yeah, but statistics ruins all the fun in it. Where's the suspense? Where's the surprise?
It looks like Portugal may have at least won the roll with a 47 to Jisan's 23. So if nothing else, they can claim that they beat South Korea at rolling.
That is true, and speaking of South Korea, their first ban is going to be Nomad 1, wanting to get that consistency pick that most lower seeded teams would feel comfortable on out of the way.
Yeah, very kind of standard, straightforward ban that we've seen a lot from the higher seeded teams against the lower seeded. A kind of map that everyone should be fairly comfortable on, so taking that out of the picture removes an element of kind of coin flip that South Korea would otherwise not have to deal with.
And Portugal banning Mixed Mod 2 and choosing Hard Rock 1, getting straight into it with Hard Rock pick. I like it.
Yeah, that's a bold choice from Portugal. I mean, there are really no kind of easy picks against a team as well-rounded as South Korea, but starting out with Hard Rock 1 is, yeah, I got some respect for that.
Coming out confident and coming out swinging. I respect it.
Great to see lots of support for the teams in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome if this is your first time to us live and the World Cup. Feel free to ask if you have any questions and we'll do our best to answer them.
And while we're waiting for players to get situated, for those of you who missed our last match, Belgium vs Poland, it was a back and forth match in the beginning, but eventually Poland started running away with it and ended up winning 5-2. And barring any substitutions, we have Rose, Yes My Darkness, and Jisan for South Korea, Nelson, Treese, and Hiroto for Portugal. Seeing some Portugal support in the chat, that's what I love to see. We love our underdog stories. And here we go. First map of the match, South Korea versus Portugal, Hard Rock 1.
Yeah, fairly standard, like half jumpy Hard Rock map. Not too much complexity in the way of like strong, unsuspecting distances or like really difficult reading, because the BPM is kind of high enough that you don't need to kind of memorize anything. Nelson with an early miss in that calm section, maybe just a little bit of nerves at play there.
And Nelson struggling a little bit, perhaps because of nerves, finding another miss. 5 other players holding on to a full combo so far, but Treese is gonna drop right before that 200 combo mark, same with Hiroto.
Yeah, so no more full combos remaining on the side of Portugal now as we come towards the halfway point. Still 3 triple S's on the side of South Korea, kind of expected.
Nelson with another drop, just having a rough time getting a combo going on this map, it seems. Nelson and Treese dropping once again. Hiroto, the only one on the side of Portugal above that 200 combo mark, while a triple double S on the side of South Korea still.
Hiroto finally dropping a big combo for Team Portugal, so unfortunately this one is going to be quite a sizable margin for Team South Korea's victory. But still not a bad performance. Triss doing a pretty solid performance, almost pushing up that 1 million point mark. Hiroto actually getting over 1 million, really good. But that triple double S from South Korea, not a lot you can really do about that no matter how well you play.
And again, mad respect to Portugal for choosing Hard Rock 1 against South Korea right out the gate.
Yeah, to any people who are new and surprised by South Korea's performance, they are the 6-time world champions for a very good reason. And Portugal haven't qualified for CWC in quite a few years. Triss and Demigod Yoxide, 2 players who were in that 2018 team. Their other 4 players, brand new, never played in a Catch World Cup before. So yes, there are definitely going to be some elements of nerves and unfamiliarity with the pressure of a tournament setting on this scale.
And
South Korea is 2nd seed, actually. China were the 1st seed, to whoever's asking that in the chat. But it was very close. Sorry, go ahead, Elex.
Speaking of South Korea, they are choosing DT3, our double time convert happy time, which Angel Kawhi coming in, Rosa and Demigod coming in for Portugal, Treese, Jisun, and Yes My Darkness all staying in from last map.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see this one in the previous match, Poland versus Belgium. Like, double time was almost completely taken off the table. Both this and the DT2 were banned. So it'll be the first time we're seeing this since maybe last night or yesterday, depending on your time zone. This is one of the shortest maps in the pool, a little under 1.5 minutes long, with double time having been added. Just waiting for all the players to ready up, and then we'll be getting underway with game number 2.
Seems to be some issues currently going on in the lobby. Demigod wanting to see if they have hidden on or not, but it appears that it got straightened out.
Yeah, maybe he was readied up and was trying to add the mod on afterwards, and then he needed to kind of back out and then kind of ready up again once hidden had been added. But whatever the case may be, looks like that issue is resolved, as you said.
Rosa and Demigod choosing that hidden modifier to go along with double time. If you're new to catch hidden does not add on any extra score. It is strictly a 1 times multiplier. It is purely for reading for Hard Rock and Double Time. Rosa is going to be the first one to drop, followed by Demigod and Triss. No full combos left on the side for Portugal, while South Korea looking strong as ever.
Yeah, no kind of major mistakes from Portugal there. They were just kind of tapping along those little stacks, unevenly spaced, and got caught out a little bit. Miss from Triss and a double miss from South Korea. Both Angel Kawaii and Yes My Darkness missing on that large screen jump section. So the continued double S or FC dream is over after one map. Demigod Yoxide breaking once again. Jisan the only full combo remaining with that double S in the lobby right now.
Triss back up to 200 combo. Demigod dropping again. Jisan still holding on to that double S. And that is going to be another point in favor of South Korea. Jisan, the only one full comboing and double S'ing in the lobby.
Yeah, a few small hiccups there for South Korea, but otherwise a very dominant display once again. Portugal just not quite able to keep up. Triss with a pretty solid combo, that 330, but Rosa and Demigod not quite as happy with their kind of speedier, more fluid catcher control that Double Time elucidates.
I guess you can say they didn't have a happy time with that map.
Haha!
I'll see my way out for that.
So we've seen some Hard Rocks and Double Time. Are Portugal just going to try and test the waters in as many mods as possible? Are they going to stick towards specifics or potentially try some converts? There's plenty of options on the table for them.
They were pretty confident with that Hard Rock pick, but now I do not blame them for thinking a little bit. I can see them definitely going Nomad 2 on this. Ooh, and it is a Nomad, but it's Nomad 3.
So yeah, Astria Nasobe, the streamy circle size 5 pick, converted OS difficulty as we said. So it's going to be a little bit of a roster change around for South Korea here. They have some kind of more old school players that are very well suited to convert play. So yeah, Biol coming in there. No Dre Star though. It's a little bit of a surprise.
We see Hiroto coming in for Portugal. Despite South Korea being up 2-0, still seeing strong Portugal support in the chat. Love to see it.
Okay, looks like Jisan has decided to give Draystar a little test appearance. See how he can flex his spinning ability for Team South Korea.
Hiroto getting caught up, slightly underjumping on that first hyper dash. First 200 combo marks here on the board. 5-way full combo right now with Hiroto, catching up with the Rust 13. And we're gonna see a triple miss, one on Draystar for South Korea and two with Tris and Hiroto for Portugal.
Yeah, Hiroto also getting caught out there by that little inverted repeat slider. The kind of big hyper dash into a strong direction change slider, quite difficult, like a bit of a difficulty spike compared to some of the kind of slower streaming sections that come before it, so not too surprised that it caught a couple of the players out there.
And Hiroto dropping again as Draystar gets back up to that 200 combo. And Tris is going to drop Rosa, the only one full comboing or any combo on the side of Portugal right now as Hiroto tries to climb back up. Still a two-way double S for South Korea.
And there we go, South Korea take a 3rd point. Really good score by Rosa there to get that FC, doing a great job. Kind of keeping up with the South Korean players. Just the one early-ish miss from Draystar there, but otherwise, triple double S was on the cards. Biol and Jisan not letting anything pass the plate. Not a bad performance by any means for Team Portugal, just the 8 misses across their team. But you need a little bit more consistency against the team at South Korea's level.
And the score is now 3-0 in favor of South Korea. The board open to them. Still have both hidden maps still to go. Still have our Mixed Mod 1 to pick. No Mod 2, No Mod 4, and DT1 and DT2 left to go. See how they what they go here.
I'd like to see South Korea pick hidden here, just so we see a bit of variety across the whole board. I don't think Portugal are going to pick Mixed Mod 1, given that it was Mixed Mod 2 that they banned earlier on. And even if South Korea win, they will still get a 3rd pick of their own. But it's always helpful kind of for us to know who's performing well on what maps and what types of mod and things by seeing a little bit of everything played in the early stages. Taking a little bit of time to decide here.
See someone in the chat asking what is Mixed Mod. So unlike, and speaking of Mixed Mod, we have Mixed Mod 1.
Yeah,
You'll get to see
timing,
firsthand. So Mixed Mod is new to CWC this year. Instead of the traditional every player playing on the same mod bracket, we have one Hard Rock player, one Hidden player, and one No Mod player on each team.
Yeah, so a reminder that Hidden doesn't add any score bonus relative to No Mod, so there'll be 2 players that'll just be playing for the 1 million score. Hard Rock does have a 1.12 multiplier though, so the Hard Rock players' combo and misses will be weighted slightly more importantly in the kind of scheme of the pick than everyone else's. It's like free mod, but instead of everyone being able to play whatever they want, each player is forced to play a different mod, so you can't have like 3 people all playing Hard Rock, for example. You must have 1 No Mod player, 1 Hidden player, and 1 Hard Rock player who can also optionally take Hidden if they wish.
We see some substitutions. Rose coming in for South Korea. Angel Kawhi and Beal as well, with Triss, Rosa staying in, and Gonks coming in for Portugal.
Yeah, a couple of new faces, Rels and Gonks appearing on each team. Good to try and get everyone a little bit of a stretch their fingers, get their catcher moving. Like, whilst the scoreline is probably going to be a convincing victory for South Korea at the end of the day, both of these teams will, for different reasons, want to have their eyes set on the next round of matches, which will be a lot closer. South Korea want to make sure that they are kind of well adapted to each mod against more challenging opponents. Portugal, because it's a double elimination tournament, they won't be sent home if they lose today. They'll go down to the losers bracket, and hopefully they'll end up with a much more closely competitive match next week. So they'll be looking at practicing and seeing what they're strong on and weak on, so that they have a better chance of winning in a future match.
And it appears they want to make things a little tricky for us, JBH, mixing the hidden and no mod slots around. We see an early miss from Triss, but other than that, all players looking strong. But Beal dropping early, same with Gonks.
Yeah, so Biol dropping again, and like, take a screenshot now if you're a Portugal fan. Portugal are leading South Korea in the Catch World Cup. Angel Kawhi, sorry, now known, is also going to drop there. So we currently see Rels and Rosa 1 FC apiece. Portugal have a very slight advantage. That's going to be eroded away right now with Triss's miss, unfortunately.
Gonks getting back up to that 200 combo mark, same with Beal. Angel Kawhi catching up with the rest of his team as well.
Rosa and Rels both still holding on to that double S, but Rosa, the hidden player, whereas Rels' SS is on the hard rock slot, so that is going to be a slight score bonus. Gonk's going to drop, unfortunately, in that bottom right bracket for no mod there, but Angel Kawhi dropping for hidden as well, Biol going down, Rosa going down. Everyone's struggling a little bit on this mixed mod. Only Triss and Rels now still holding a significant combo. But Rels breaks with the hard rock.
And if Triss can hold on here, that's huge.
Portugal are back in the lead with a third of the map still to play. What is happening?
Magic is happening right now, JBH. Rosa unfortunately dropping there. And
Triss has gone down. No, the lead swings back in favor of South Korea.
And Gonks dropping right before that spinner. But Portugal at this break, seeing that it's still a close match.
It's only 17,000 points. A little miss. Rels drops right at the beginning. There is enough combo left that could be a deciding factor. But unfortunately, the 200 combos on the side of South Korea are probably going to keep extending the score lead a little bit.
Rosa is going to drop in that dense stack section. Angel Kawhi dropping as well. But unfortunately for Portugal, the magic, as fast as it appeared, faded away as South Korea is going to take this match to match point.
Yeah, I mean, South Korea struggled maybe a little bit, but Portugal played really well there. If I'm a Portugal player or a fan right now, I consider that a victory to kind of be leading and going toe-to-toe with South Korea. They had a realistic chance of winning that point, and that's really cool to see.
Match point with Portugal's pick. I do not blame them if they want to take some time to think about this.
Maybe wishing they hadn't banned mixed mod at this rate. They took it off the table right at the beginning, but mixed mod 1 was easily the closest they've come to taking a huge point off of the defending world champions. They're going to have to go to one of the other mod pools now. Still 2 maps available in No Mod, Hidden, and Double Time, and of course the 1 Hard Rock pick available as well. So if you're a Portugal fan, this is where you kind of put in the energy for the reverse sweep. 5-4 Portugal. Are there any believers?
A 4-0 reverse sweep would be a story. Reverse sweep would be a story to tell. And Portugal finally letting us see Hidden for the first time this match. Going long ball.
I like this from Portugal. I think, like, in any normal circumstance, you would be very silly to pick Hidden against South Korea. They're a fantastic Hidden team. But Triss is intelligent. He's kind of captaining the team well. He knows that it's important to play the long game, give your players experience of the map pool and the different mods. So I think this is done not with an air of trying to get a point off of South Korea, but to lead the team and get them the experience they need going into the next round of matches.
And you already know how I feel about this song, JBH. Final Fantasy players in the chat, you know where this is from. You see Rio, Yes My Darkness, and Draystar on the side of South Korea. Rosa, Triss, and Demigod for Portugal. Portugal wanting to get a point on the board. South Korea looking to end this match with a 5-0.
So here we go then, the 5th and potentially final game of this round of 32 matchup between Portugal and South Korea.
Hey, and we got some style points on the wiggle.
I love wiggling, man.
Love it. No one getting tripped up on that first hyper dash. But Demigod, right before that second hyper dash, is going to find a miss. And Triss is going to find a miss as well. Still a 3-way double S on the side of South Korea as Demigod drops, leaving Rosa the lone full combo on the side of Portugal. And that full combo is gone as Triss and Rosa miss in about the same section. South Korea holding on strong, but Biol being the first one on South Korea to miss.
Yeah, just dashed away from one of those 1-1 dashes a little bit too quickly in the slow section. Very easy to do, even for experienced players, when you're playing with Hidden and a lower approach rate, this 8.4. Triss and Rosa getting caught out by that little spooky 1/2 dash and hyper dash chain there. Yokside still holding on to a respectable combo, but Draystar and Yes My Darkness both with double S's coming towards the end of this map, and South Korea have built up a huge lead. So this one is going to be going the way of the defending world champions.
And there you have it, everyone. South Korea winning this 5-0. But if you're Portugal, I wouldn't feel too bad about how you played. It is the defending champions, defending 6-time champions in South Korea, and you almost got a point taken off of them. So I would feel, if I was them, going into next week with more confidence.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a little bit of a harsh, tough to ask someone, hey, you haven't played in the World Cup for like nearly 5 years, and your first match is against South Korea, who've won CWC 6 times before, and I don't think I've ever really finished lower than like 5th, for example. But that's still a really, really good performance by them. They put up a strong showing, their players did generally really well overall, and as you said, Mixed Mod 1, for large portions of that map, Portugal were actually in front, and there was an honest belief that they could have taken a point there. So I consider this a really good performance for them, and hopefully they've learnt a lot going into next week's matches. Reminder that this is a double elimination tournament, so since we're in the first round, nobody who gets beaten today, who loses, is going to be sent home from the tournament. Everyone will get to play at least one more time in the losers bracket if they are defeated. And here is a summary of what's happened so far. You can see on the left the matches that have taken place. Korea joining the winners circle in the round of 32 winners bracket against Portugal. Coming up next, we have 4 matches simultaneously, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare for us to keep you updated on them all. They're all coming your way in about 30 minutes. Italy versus the Netherlands, Indonesia versus Malaysia, Australia, Vietnam, and Taiwan versus Turkey. So, in the next 30 minutes or so, do feel free once again to stretch, have a drink, have some food, go talk to some friends, tell them all about the World Cup, and then in half an hour to get their butts back here for some more fruit catching.
And in that half an hour break, you could stop by the All Store and pick up a banner showing your support for your country, who you want to see win it all. It will be displayed on your profile. I have yet to see the banners this year, JBH. How do they look?
They are fantastic as always. Flight has done a superb job. I highly recommend, for the price of only about $2.50, that you go pick one up and obviously help support your team, but also it helps reinvest back into the World Cups and us as a whole, making these tournaments fantastic, and allowing us to do all this that we do, and show it to you. So if that interests you and you've got a bit of change to spare, then obviously do show some support for your team and for the game. But otherwise, whether you buy a banner or not, you're of course incredibly welcome to hang out with us again in 30 minutes time for the upcoming block of round of 32 matches. I think Elux, you will be departing, but I might be remaining.
Indeed, that is correct. I'm gonna have to get the nerves out of my system and get ready for my upcoming match.
Yeah, this man is an experienced commentator. He's been in the booth with me many times, but it is his first match as a CWC player for Team US. So everyone show some love to Elux, say thanks, and also good luck for his match against Ukraine later this evening.
Most important thing is to have fun, though.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna try my best and just looking to have fun. Can't wait to actually play a tournament with the boys.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw, it's all about having fun and showing what Catch, this wonderful game mode, and your wonderful countries are all about. So yeah, we'll have more of that coming up soon, as we've said, but I think we're going to take a little break here. You'll be able to listen to more tunes in the interim from our fantastic featured artists, so do hang around if you don't have anything urgent to do, and cat jam out with us. We'll see you all guys very soon. Thank you for watching.
Click.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Catch World Cup 2022 round of 32 matches. We've got 4 matches taking place right now, all at the same time. We'll try our best to keep you updated on how they're all going. I am JB Hyperion and I'm joined now by Chilia Pair, one of our tournament organizers. We're going to become catch experts, isn't that right?
That we're gonna attempt to be. Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for the later times watching. Exciting match today. We have Indonesia versus Malaysia, as Mr. JB mentioned as well. We do have 3 matches running in synchronous with this one. The Italy versus Netherlands match, Australia, Vietnam, and Taiwan, Turkey, all at the exact same time, this 13 UTC block here.
Yes, clearly there's some kind of lucky time that everyone wanted to reschedule to the exact same time, which is a bit unfortunate for us that we can't show you them all at once. But yeah, it's all about the players and when works best for them. They've all got to get their best chance of going through to future rounds, so please understand.
Lucky or unlucky, we will have a streamed match here today, and hopefully a lot of these other teams will have a chance to get streamed on one of the other weekends. This is a double elimination tournament, and as such, they will have a losers bracket potential match to get streamed if they do in fact find themselves losing to their opponent this week. Indonesia's generally been a pretty strong team in the tournament. They got knocked out in semifinals last year by China. Knocked down to the losers bracket in the round of 16. Of course, that was back when we ran group stages. They have generally kind of been, one of the mid-tier teams in this tournament. They've only made 1 roster switch this year. They actually switched out Soliloquy for Urabe Mikoto this year. And then Malaysia had a little bit of a rough run the past couple of years. They went 0-3 in groups last year. They did not end up qualifying for the round of 16 in the tournament. Generally similar to Indonesia, knocked around semifinals to quarterfinals. They do have only 1 player, or rather 2 players, or 1 player returning this year. One of the 2. Astroloki is the only returning player this year, and Murutek is actually back as well. However, he's not the captain this year. They've opted to switch.
Yeah, a lot of the Team Malaysia players have been in CWCs before, but they've had a very kind of flux team where players have been in, been out, haven't played for quite a long time. Quite a dangerous team in their day. They've always had a little bit of potential to upset stronger teams, but they haven't quite advanced as quickly as some of the other teams around them, unfortunately. Indonesia, very, very strong team, as Chilia mentioned. Hidden, definitely one of their strongest suits. Dika completely destroyed qualifiers, the best performing player according to the wonderful statistics in the qualifiers, so definitely a player to watch out for. I think Malaysia did win the roll with a 45 to 30 something or other. Indonesia banning first, getting rid of No Mod 1. Very sensible. A lot of the stronger teams have been banning the No Mod 1 pick. Very consistency focused, quite a simple map that everyone should be fairly comfortable with. So just taking that little bit of a coin flip emphasis off the table early. Malaysia, for their part, getting rid of Hidden 2, the converted pick along fall. So no Final Fantasy 14 cat jamming going to be going on there, unfortunately. And Hard Rock 2 is going to be the pick coming in. Monolithia, Fractal Dreamers.
Good strong pick for these 2 teams to start off here. Of course, the ban's a little bit sensible, as you mentioned. A lot of these early stages with slightly more consistency favored maps really requires a lot of focus and a lot of control at the beginning, rather than that raw skill ceiling that we look for a lot of the time. And as such, very much contested picks going to be banned out, rather than specific kind of niches that fill each individual player here. And Indonesia going to hope to start off strong on their first pick here on Fractal Dreamers Monolithia. Just over 3 minutes long here. See if we can get the rosters set up for both teams here. Do we think we have any expectations of maybe a couple sit-in players on some of these early rounds? Sometimes we do see teams opting to put in their stronger players for, all or almost all of the maps, just to keep some consistency across rosters here.
I think the captain Astroloki is highly likely to play nearly everything, because he will be very helpful in focusing his team, bringing in the players that maybe haven't played in a little while or haven't ever played in a World Cup before. trying to get them all on the same wavelength as playing as a team. Indonesia have a little bit more leeway because they have such a kind of favored matchup. They are a much stronger team. They achieved much higher placement in seedings, coming in 4th. I think they might feel fairly comfortable using this as a way to give all of their players a little bit of an experience of all the different mod pools and brackets that they might come into contact with later on, and they'll still feel reasonably comfortable that they can kind of reliably pick up points.
Well, that'll be good for them, and we'll get into our first pick here. We'll see how both of these teams are feeling today. Generally, on paper, in terms of what we're looking at for this map here, is a slightly stronger Indonesia team, not necessarily speaking as a team on these early stages, but it is their own pick. It's their opening pick of the round of 32 here. They're looking for something strong to get themselves up on the board without much contention from Malaysia. And I think that given past performances, they're going to look pretty good on this as David Beth finds a early miss along with Loot.
Yeah, kind of hard rock patterning in catch has this kind of annoying tendency to slightly displace notes to either the left or the right at almost random. It'll be the same every time you play the same map, but there's no kind of indication if you've never seen a map before whether a note is going to be displaced or not. And there was a stack there where the first note in the stack got shifted quite a long way to the left, which made a strong hyperdash into a sharp little tap dash back to the right that caught some of the Malaysia players out.
Oh, unfortunate. At the start of the map here, David Be, Astroloki finding another couple misses here. Loot also found one just prior. Malaysia not looking too hot on the hard rock pick here. Of course, Astroloki also running hidden with that little slight added extra difficulty for him there. Dika and Urabe Mikoto both looking really good on this one. Nanamaru just dropping combo once on there. It's going to be right back into things right now, putting up just over 350. So no issues for Indonesia right now, halfway through the map. Looking very strong, very clean on this first pick here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why Astroloki opted to add Hidden here. He's not a player who kind of religiously plays with Hidden. Maybe this is just a particular map where Hidden is a bit more kind of comfy reading for him. David Bear and Loot both struggling a little bit to build that combo back up. As you said, Netamaru back well above that 200 combo after an early miss. Dika and Urabe Mikoto both holding on to double S. During the break, the players are able to see the scores of the opponents if they have the kind of overlays enabled, and they'll see that, as hoped for and expected for their first pick, very comfortable advantage for Team Indonesia right now.
Extremely comfortable. The score gap continuing to grow. We're pushing that 500,000 score difference between the two teams here now. Quarter of the way left in the map to go. And yeah, you did mention definitely Astroloki, not normally someone who favors towards Hidden. Any number of things not comfortable in the pick itself. Mind block from practicing something too much. You really never know what can happen there. But Dika is going to be finding a miss for Indonesia here. Not really going to matter at this point. Unfortunately for Malaysia, Indonesia far too much in the lead. And Urabe Mikoto going to be bringing this one into the finish here with the hidden hard rock. Has not missed anything yet. No droplets, no anything. Nice and slow outro here. Continuing into the finish, and with that we have, after a couple more misses from Malaysia, the final score of the first map. Very, very decent score gap between the two teams. Extremely confident play from Urabe Mikoto to start off this match, as we go off to a very solid rolling start for Indonesia here. Malaysia going to try to respond with their first pick here.
Yeah, Dika a little bit of kind of struggled towards the very end there, but by that point there was no problem at all that Indonesia had that one secured. Urabe Mikoto very clean with that double S there on the side of Indonesia. Very confident victory for their first point. Exactly what you want from your first pick in the tournament, to know that you kind of chose the right thing. You're all feeling very comfortable. You know what you like. And Malaysia have to decide now, do they pick something that they feel very confident on, despite knowing that Indonesia are probably also very confident on? These two teams, both as a team, as a whole, very comfortable on Hidden. Although Malaysia opting to ban Hidden 2 was a bit surprising. There is still one Hidden pick left available.
Well, slightly longer pick in Yoroni Kakeru as well. Again, you kind of go back to some of those more consistency favored maps when you get to the really long ones there. I think that might fall under the distinction there. It's always kind of a 50-50 on whether or not these teams like to go for at the beginning of these matches. You have the one side of things where you really, depending on what kind of team you are, you want to go for the picks that your opponent is not necessarily super strong on, which do come less frequently in these early stages rather than the picks that you are going to be super strong on. Some people seem to assume that Malaysia is going for the hidden one. They're going to be going for the Nomad 2. Instead, it's going to be Sysmix Pure Gint.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. David Best saying, "Are we playing hidden?" And then Loot immediately says, "No, we're not playing hidden."
Yeah, no desire to play hidden on the first map of the day here. Understandable.
So yeah, Nomad 2 going to be coming in. Quite a technical, interesting pick. One of our custom maps that we've obviously been cheering our custom map pool team very much throughout the tournament so far. Like lower BPM, slightly lower approach rate as well. Lots of strong hyper dashes into like high slider velocities, so making sure that you're not panking droplets, and also lots of wiggling as well, which is very well suited to low BPM. So much more of a technical pick than some of the other no-mod options that are available.
A lot of teams having quite a bit of trouble on this in some of the matches yesterday. Really, again, like you mentioned, a very technical pick doesn't come quite as easily to our stronger players as someone might like it to, especially for a round of 32 matchup here, when the pools are, still relatively comfortable for players of this caliber here. So we'll see if Indonesia and Malaysia fare slightly better than some of the teams yesterday on this. Eyes on Malaysia right now, of course, being their first pick of the match. They would like to start this one off strong. A breakpoint to go at the beginning of the match here would not be something that they want, but we'll find out in just over 2 minutes. We'll get the rosters locked in here. Kagari gonna have a little bit of trouble loading into this one. We're gonna get them right in as we start the map. And there we go. Start off at Nomad 2. Big roster switches for both of the teams here. So we'll be seeing a new set of players on both sides. Completely different experience from that first map on Hard Rock.
Yeah, Dika, the only player who's kind of retained from either side. Otherwise, entirely new, 5 completely different players. So Malaysia gone for a complete roster swap here.
Well, it's working out better for them so far. Oh, and as I say that, unfortunately, Kagari gonna find an early break. Won't matter too much in the grand scheme of things if he's able to recover well from that, but they are going to have to hope from a break from Indonesia at some point.
Marut attack caught out there. You can see just as they start the Ki, there's a hyper dash into a really high slider velocity, and he just tried to dash away a little bit too early to preempt that, and unfortunately missed the hyper entirely. So that created quite a few misses there. Kagari also with a couple of drops during the Ki as they come to halfway. Ricky still with the double S, but a triple double S still riding strong on Team Indonesia.
Very strong from them. Not the situation you want to see out of Malaysia here. Kagari, Muru attack both sub 200 combo right now. Significant amount of breaks. Kagari, I believe, is on 2 or 3, and then of course you had a little bit of a misstep from Muru attack there. Not an advantageous point, especially on a shorter pick like this, being just over 2 minutes. Kagari, unfortunately, completely going to miss section there. Proneko gonna find a break for Indonesia, but as we've seen here so far, just a slightly stronger overall roster from Indonesia as Ricky finds a break as well.
Yeah, so no FCs remaining on the side of Team Malaysia now. The score gap is growing quite a bit. Marut attack built up a nice combo there as Dika, not someone I was expecting to be dropping on many of these round of 32 picks, does break combo. Madoka Ayukawa still holding on to that double S. Kagari taking another couple of drops there as well, but this one is definitely well in favor of Team Indonesia again.
Very strong for them. Madoka Ayukawa gonna bring it into the finish with the double S here, and there it is. Very strong performance. Again, Indonesia just consistently having one player on the roster in for each of these picks that is super confident, super comfortable on these opening points here, and that's just the advantage. That's giving them a slight edge over Malaysia in this match. Malaysia not doing too terribly here, maybe 1 or 2 breaks on 2 of their players here and there, but it's enough combo drops to lose that potential score gain that they would be getting. Of course, every time you drop combo, it's just more and more lost there. So, really looking for less of those slight mistakes here, just some more consistent performances overall. And I think this is just a difference of Indonesia having a slightly stronger 3-person roster for each of these picks.
Yeah, not only that, but Indonesia are a team that even take the kind of earlier stages of these tournaments very seriously. Some teams take a while to kind of build, where their skill ceiling takes a while to be reached. Indonesia have a high skill ceiling, but also perform really well right out of the gate and immediately get into that high gear. So as a team that is trying to maybe take points off of a stronger seed, Indonesia are one of the harder ones to do because they don't kind of not necessarily take group and now round of 32 stages that seriously, and if you're strategizing and playing really well and you tactically choose, you might be able to score a point off them here or there. Unfortunately, they are one of those teams that you just have to straight up be better than them if you want to take a point off them.
Well, definitely do see that trend a lot, especially in Catch World Cup and, a lot of the other World Cups or even community tournaments. You got those early stage teams. They really come in here. They know what they're doing. Like you mentioned, they practice. They all the preparation that you need to do. They get their sleep before the match. They get breakfast, dinner, whatever you need to do. Players are ready for these early stage maps in here. And they're going to be going in for the hidden one next. Not super surprising given what we've been talking about for Indonesia here. Just a slightly more consistent team at these early stage matchups here. Being a little over 4 minutes here and fairly comfortable BPM as well. There's really not going to be too much to slip up on if you're going to be, if having practiced this and you're feeling good on everything today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Indonesia currently 2-0 to the good against Malaysia. To bring you what's going on in our other matches, Italy currently 2-0 up against the Netherlands. We've seen some hidden and some mixed mod. Australia, same scoreline against Vietnam, some hidden and some double time. And Taiwan also currently 2-0 up against Turkey, having seen double time and hard rock. So a little bit of variety, but 2-0 scorelines all across the board in the matches that are happening at the moment.
Well played to the teams up with 2 points now. Very unfortunate to lose a break point that early for our other half of teams. However, still 3 points to go in order to win in all of these matchups here. Of course, being a round of 32, we are only looking at a best of 9 here. So not a whole lot of room for mistakes. You let up 1 break point, it's kind of okay. Once you start getting to maybe 2 break points, you're in a dangerous position here. So we're going to keep an eye on all of our other matches, especially this one up on the stream right now. See what's going to happen with this second pick here. Indonesia in a bit of an advantageous position. They're going to be able to get up to 3 points here if they're able to take their own pick. No break point necessary. Malaysia really going to look to try and prevent the consolidated break point this early on in the match. See what happens here. We had a little bit of a struggle with the hidden hard rock on Astro Loki on some of these opening picks here. Not going to be doing too hot at the start of hidden 1 as well. Unfortunately, going to find a very early break here. Sub 200 combo, not going to be the end of the world again, and a longer map. So there are room for mistakes here. Assuming, however, that Indonesia does make mistakes as Ricky also finds a break.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that you have to kind of hang all your hopes on the opponents making a mistake, and Indonesia being a team that, especially in early stages, do not often make mistakes, but you have to at very least be in a position to capitalize on those mistakes if and when they do happen.
Just so confident, and again, it's not, it's not even the case of you need to be the best player in the lobby right now. It's just you need to be better than somebody on the opposing team, and unfortunately the early breaks, and again another combo drop unfortunately for Ricky, is going to lose a little bit more there. Again, score gap is going to start to pull to the side of Indonesia as we have seen absolutely no mistakes from them. We're going to approach the halfway point in the map after this Ki here, and rather this big chorus, and we'll see what happens after that. But given the fact that this map doesn't really have any extreme difficulty spikes in it, again, very consistent, we mentioned, you really got to hope for just some unfortunate slip-up from Indonesia, but given how they've been playing so far, that is asking quite a bit.
Yeah, this map's very much a slow burner. It does increase in difficulty very gradually throughout the choruses as we get further along. But the kind of watchword is definitely consistency about how kind of good can you maintain your catcher control, especially when nerves are building for Malaysia, kind of thinking like, can we get a point anywhere? Indonesia, for their kind of side, not a team that would feel particularly nervous on a group stage or a round of 32 map, precisely because they practice them extensively and are a very strong team early on. But yep, like everyone has their day, and whether it's practice or nerves or technical difficulties that can introduce breaks. But you, like I said, you've got to be there to capitalize on them. But if your opponent's not making a mistake, then all you can really do is say we tried our best. And Indonesia right now, they don't look like mistake is a word that even exists in their vocabulary. That's a triple double S still right now.
Very strong from them on the hidden one here. Really, absolutely nothing you can do about this. Very unfortunate for Malaysia. Muru Attack looking really good on this pick again here. Just a couple little droplet misses. Low Wind actually going to be finding a break from Indonesia. Unfortunately, Ricky and Astro Loki are going to find breaks to trade it at the exact same section. Muru Attack looking very strong for Malaysia right now. Unfortunately, the one-person show is not going to be quite enough against this Indonesia team today as we approach these last couple seconds.
They all got caught out a little bit by kind of strong hyperdash into a sharp direction change. You're like thinking like, oh, I need to change direction because this next one's a strong motion. But you end up dashing away from that slider tail just a bit too quickly, unfortunately. As you said, Muratatak doing really, really well here with just, I think, a single droplet miss in that 1200 combo. Lewind building back up, Astro Loki doing the same, but Ricky, just as he was getting up to 200 combo, missing again. Muratatak does finally drop. No full combos remaining on the side of Team Malaysia now.
Very unfortunate for Muru Attack. I was hoping we'd see a full combo from one of the Malaysian players today, but it was not meant to be. As we finish the map here, still a very respectable scoreline between the two teams here, a little bit closer than what we've seen on some of the previous picks here. But again, it's just Indonesia having such a strong roster on all of these maps so far. At least one double S on one player through the first two picks here, and we're actually going to see two on the hidden one here. So an extremely confident pick to consolidate the breakpoint against Malaysia. And now we're going to kind of start to hit the do or die point here. This is where Malaysia really needs to turn things around a little bit. They're going to need a strong pick in order to get themselves right back into this match where they need to be.
Yeah, so the saving grace for Malaysia right now is that with one hidden pick and one ban, there's no more hidden exclusively remaining in the mod pool. They could still see some hidden in that mixed mod pool you can see down there, Mapletown Memories and Happy, where at least one player will have to choose hidden. So yeah, there's one hard rock, 3 double time untouched by either team just yet, and then 2 no mod, which are both converted OS mode difficulties.
Well, we'll see what they end up going for here. Hidden pool is gone. Nothing to worry about in terms of being forced to play the hidden modification anymore. They ended up going for the no mod 2 to start, so maybe something a little bit more technically intensive for them if they're going to look for that route, or maybe because of the unfortunate loss of their first point, they're going to take it a completely different direction for their second pick here. Again, plenty of maps left in the pool. There's really not too much to worry about. A lot of variation here. Looks like they are still looking... Oh, nope, I see it. There we go.
Yeah,
I was like,
Astro
so
Loki,
small.
Astro Loki rolling 2. I think that was simulating a coin flip between 2 potential picks, maybe, and they ended up with the 2, which is going to be the mixed mod 1. So we were talking about mixed mod. It's new to the Catch World Cup this year. If you've ever seen free mod pools in a tournament before, it's very similar, except in free mod, any number of players can pick any combination of hidden, hard rock, no mod. In mixed mod, one player must have no mod, one hidden, and then one hard rock. So it's a little bit more restrictive in what combinations you can go with. You can't straight up beat a team just because you all choose hard rock and they don't.
Yeah, we'll call it force mod if you wanted to, I guess, have another way of thinking about it. You are required as a team to have the, of course, mixture of all the modifications possible here, and see how that fares for Malaysia here. Again, they've looked, it's kind of an interesting route for them on a pick like this. They really didn't look super strong on their hard rock players on the opening hard rock pick here, and on the hidden map they did look a little bit better. So I guess in terms of your mod players here, you're really hoping that you have one person that's just super strong on a pick like this with their desired route here. They've been looking pretty good on anything no mod today. There really hasn't been too many major slip-ups, but it's definitely been the modification-oriented picks here that have slipped them up. So an interesting route, again, to go for the mixed mod here, but hopefully they're more confident on it than what they have shown on some of the previous picks here.
Yeah, the interesting thing about mixed mod from a strategy perspective is you don't necessarily need 3 players all to be good at a particular mod. Like if only one person on your team is good at hidden and one person is good at hard rock, then maybe mixed mod is actually something that works out a lot better for you, rather than having 3 people who all had to play hidden, but only one of those people would consider themselves like a main on that particular mod.
Exactly. It gives you the advantage of putting your strongest player on that mod in for that, and then you don't have to worry about someone else struggling on it. Although it is interesting to note that despite Astro Loki's performance on Hidden in this match, he does opt to go in for it. A very different styled pick here, though, so I guess he's just getting touch bases on all the areas here today. But Madoka Ayukawa running the Hidden on Indonesia, as well as Netamaru on the Hard Rock, and then Luke is going to be running the Hard Rock for Malaysia today. Kagari on the No Mod. Smart thing here, you do see a lot of the more confident players running the no modification here just for maybe a guaranteed, full combo or double S on something potentially here. Astro Loki again, gonna find the first break of the map on the Hidden here. Interesting, and this is kind of what I was worried about here. It has not been feeling too good on all these Hidden picks today, so to throw him in on something like a multi-mod here with Hidden is not something that Malaysia maybe wanted to do.
Well, as the captain, this might be kind of a strategy thing where he feels that Hidden going forward is going to be the pick that he's going to have to contest the most. So best get some tournament experience in it in a match that you're maybe not necessarily that favored to do that well in anyway. A lot of these weaker teams will be kind of hopefully strategizing as this week doesn't necessarily mean that much, but next week we'll have a much closer match which we should really focus on.
Absolutely, that is the desirable position here as Malaysia finds 3 breaks. Indonesia continues to hold the double S's on all 3 players here, really not looking too hot for them. And I think we're about to see what is most likely going to be a second break point. Astro Loki going to find 1 more break there. And we're going to approach the last quarter of the map after a couple more seconds. Not a super long pick, but not a short one as well. Just enough time for a couple of breaks to make the difference, of course, having no full combos on any player. And that is the pause section right here with a quarter of the way left to go. Just over 268,000 score.
So coming into the final kind of chorusy type section at the end here, we've got some little repeat slider sections that are going to become quite difficult to wiggle with Hard Rock, so keep your eyes on Loot and Netamaru, the 2 screens at the top there, to see some of that wiggling. Very, very nice from both players, but Astro Loki, Kagari, and also now Loot also dropping, so huge team drop there at the end for Malaysia. Wasn't going to be a difference maker anyway, but regardless, a little bit unfortunate for them at the end. Indonesia, for their part, just the one miss for Lewind towards the end that we missed there, but Madoka Ayukawa and Netamaru both coming in with a double S. As expected, Indonesia consistency game looking real strong.
Very, very strong as they continue this performance into a 4-0 lead. Malaysia, unfortunately, just not finding any open spots here to fit a point in. And unfortunately for them as well, they're going to be looking for a break point in order to prevent Indonesia from running away with the win on this match. While we've got 1 point left, we might as well update you on some of the other matches here. Australia versus Vietnam. Vietnam has managed to take a point against Australia for a 4-1 score lead in favor of Australia now. Italy versus Netherlands. Italy is up 3-1. Netherlands was also able to grab a pick. And Taiwan, Turkey, also 3-1. Turkey grabbing 1 point against them here. So we've got slightly closer matches on the other hand here. And then still looking for Malaysia. Again, one little gap in the defenses for Indonesia here. And they might be able to grab one, but unfortunately, slightly less than optimal position on an Indonesia pick.
Yeah, while we wait to discover what the last potentially pick is going to be, just want to go back to that Vietnam-Australia match you were talking about. 4-1 the scoreline, but on Mixed Mod 2, Australia won by 2,300 points. So that is kind of... So there was 2 players that on both parties that FC'd. The third player on both sides, 1 4 miss and 1 5 miss. So very, very unlucky for Vietnam.
Wow. Very unfortunate for them. So looking potentially to take some more picks here. It is to be noted that Vietnam actually did take a break point against Australia to get their first point on the board. So a strong performance in order to get that there. We are going to see our final pick, potentially, of our Indonesia-Malaysia match here, unless Malaysia is able to make a little bit of a switch here. It's going to be Happy Time Wa'orinai, the cut version, of course, the full version being significantly longer for a double time pick.
Yeah, so this I think is a little bit of a surprising choice. Double time coming out of Indonesia. Not necessarily because I think that they're an excellent double time team. They're perfectly serviceable at the mod. I think that with it not having been played, they just want to get a little bit of kind of experience in the fingers for double time and how the catcher feels in preparation for future matches. And I don't think that they will have any trouble getting a good enough score to beat Malaysia. Not a particularly country known particularly for double time.
Well, maybe they'll make that change starting in this match, the beginning of a new era. And as I say that, unfortunately, Kagari finding slight under move there. Ricky gonna find a break as well. Again, opting for the hidden on Astroloki and Ricky here. Again, they're really just trying to perfect the hidden modification in this match at all costs. Astroloki doing a little bit better on the hidden than he has on previous picks, which is good to see. The only full combo left on his team as Kagari finds one more break here, going up against, again, another 2 double S's on the Indonesian side here.
Dika finding a drop there for Team Indonesia, but it's traded by 2 misses, Astroloki and Ricky on the side of Malaysia.
Well, unfortunately for Malaysia, Astroloki was their only player left who had not broken combo yet, so slightly more effective miss from them here. Urabe Mikoto just dropping a couple droplets here as Kroneko finds a break in the combo, but it's right at the ending of the map as we go into the final spinner here, and that is going to be it. Indonesia 5-0 over Malaysia, an absolutely dominant performance from them, looking fantastic as a team today.
Yeah, so definitely to be expected for early stages. Indonesia coming out strong. Very few occasions where any kind of player missed more than one time, and I think at least somebody FC'd in every single pick of the 5 that they played, which is fantastic for them. Malaysia, the scoreline says 5-0, but I think they can be a little bit more happy with their performance than that suggests. It's given them a lot of evidence of where they need to practice and what they might end up picking into their round of 16 losers bracket encounter next week. As we said, double elimination tournament, so no team that loses today will be out of the tournament for good. But there it is, Indonesia, who'll be remaining in the winners bracket. You can see them on screen right now, so congratulations to them.
Very much congratulations to them. We've got a lot of our matches in this block finishing at around the same time, so unfortunately we won't have any time to switch to another match before we pause here. But just to update everyone, so far Australia, Vietnam ended up in a win for Australia, 5-1 in a victory for them. Currently Taiwan, Turkey, Italy, Netherlands both sitting at 4-1 score lines here. So we will eagerly await to see the winners of those matches. But again, a big congratulations to Indonesia for advancing to the next stage, into the round of 16 in the winners bracket. We hope to see Malaysia with a continuously strong performance in our losers bracket. They will have a chance to fight on and see what they're able to make of a losers bracket run here. You've got 2 chances to make some big recoveries here, and that's what they're looking for so far. I think we're gonna try and give it a couple seconds to see if we get any potential final maps that we get to stream in some of the other matches. We're maybe looking for a 4-2 on one of them. We'll wait and see, maybe.
Yeah, Italy, Netherlands right now are also playing Happy Time, which is obviously one of the shortest maps in the pool. So if they're currently in that map, I don't think we'll be able to see much left of it. Turkey, Taiwan, I believe they're still picking their potential 6th map, so that might be something that we can jump into for just a single map. I'm not quite sure at the moment, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Italy, Netherlands in their final pick right now. Italy seems to be winning their final pick here, so I think that match likely to end in a 5-1 victory for the Italians today. And then that Taiwan-Turkey match here going to be running through a long fall right now. They're going to be on that hidden 2 pick. And that has just recently started, so not a super long one there. But I think, and that is it. Yes, Italy has defeated the Netherlands 5-1 in a strong performance. And we'll see this last Taiwan-Turkey map here because we are just in time for the start of it. So we'll get to catch the ending of this match.
Yeah, so congratulations to Italy taking that one 5-1 against the Netherlands. So Taiwan on match point looking for their own 5-1 victory against Turkey. Turkey having never qualified for the Catch World Cup before. I think Zeus is a player who definitely should have been in a World Cup team before. He's very, very qualified player. But just haven't quite had the players available all at the same time available for the World Cup, as Flandre Scarlett is the first to drop, giving Taiwan an early lead. But Tsunami actually also dropped at the same time. I missed that one entirely, as SW4 misses as well.
Well, it's a double 2-1 break trade here at the beginning. Plenty of opportunity for Turkey to grab the point still here, but again, I think we're seeing something very similar to what we saw in the other match, where you've just got 2 players that are so strong on these early stage maps here going up against 1 player who is able to put up the pick. And, you know, we know how that goes in the 2-1 battles here in terms of the score. Tsunami is definitely giving them a couple of openings with these continued combo breaks, but SW really not looking too good on this map, as well as Flandre going to be finding 1 more break. So Zeus is in this alone right now.
Yeah, Tsunami looking to struggle a little bit, but thankfully Turkey not quite able to punish, not in really a position where they have combo as Tsunami breaks, unfortunately. ZX and Bifu both still holding onto that double S, as is Zeus. Only about a third of the map still to go. We see a double miss there. SW4 guy and Flandre Scarlett both missing at the same time, unfortunately resetting their combos back down again. That's rapidly going to accelerate Taiwan's lead, and there's not that much combo left here, so I think this one is going the way of Taiwan, unfortunately, 14 Turkey.
A very strong last map from Taiwan. This match has been relatively close. There really haven't been a lot of picks in this match, actually, that have ended in greater than 100,000 differences in scoreline here. So this is actually going to be one of the most one-sided maps that we're going to, have in this match. Unfortunately, it's the one that we get to see on stream here. But Turkey trying their best in this first match. Unfortunately, will end in defeat. Taiwan in a 5-1 victory as well, similar to some of the other matches here, 5-1s, 5-0s, and that's kind of the nature of the round of 32. You've got a lot of these really, really strong, experienced teams going up and just duking these maps out with, 2 double S's, 1 double S, all across the board, looking so strong. And then we've got our teams that will be facing off, almost all of them, in the losers bracket. We wish them all luck. There are still 4 matches left for this weekend that you don't want to miss, all of which are going to be streamed today. That'll be running from 15 UTC all the way to 17:45 UTC. That'll be followed by our map pool showcase afterwards. And with that, if you've got any other closing thoughts before we take a bit of a break before 15 UTC block here, congratulations to our winning teams.
Yeah, no closing thoughts, but I'm just hopefully waiting to see if we can get the bracket up on screen so you guys can see who's going to be playing, what time they're going to be playing as. As I said, unfortunately, 4 matches all ended up getting rescheduled to the same time, this one UTC block, so it was a bit hectic trying to keep them all up to date for you. But yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a break of just under an hour and a half until 15 UTC. And then we're going to see the Russian Federation play Norway, United States seeded 3rd playing Ukraine, who are going to be qualifying for the World Cup for their first appearance since 2013. A very long time since the World Cup if you're a Ukraine fan. Germany versus Finland could be quite an interesting close match. Those two teams seeded very close to each other in qualifiers, and then rounded out right at the end with Mexico versus Sweden. You can see all those matches on screen now, as well as a lot of the previous matches that we've seen already in this round of 32 weekend, if you haven't caught up on all that's gone on.
Yeah, feel free to take a look at the match feed if you want to follow along with any of the matches. Of course, if you're in the official O server, we do have our World Cups channel where we've got all of the points going back and forth being logged out there. Don't forget that we also have banners up in the store right now. If you want to support your favorite team, support the tournament, and see if you can get yourself a swanky banner going up there, then please feel free to head over there if you want to show your favorite team some love as usual. But again, as we mentioned, that's going to be it for us for this block. Now we've got just about a little over an hour before our next block of matches. That'll be returning at 15 UTC. I have been Chili Repair, he has been JB Hyperion, and we will see you later.
And I'd rather die fresh, fuck, give you fake, fuck, silly time on my energy. Born with the knowledge of a whore, never lying, they're gonna have a hard time to define the finest. And I'd rather die fresh.